our last event in Toronto, I got some nice, 12 stitches or so.
What's going on, wrestling fans? It is I, Steve, and welcome to 10 Count right here on Wrestling News Co. On today's edition, I'm talking to a man who recently re-signed with TNA. We're going on 10 years. It's Eddie Edwards. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me. Good to talk to you and good to see you again, man. How's
Yeah.
things?
We're in the Christmas spirit over here. We have chaos but love,
That's right.
uh, terror but joy. But we're heading into a huge weekend for TNA coming up with Hard to Kill and Snake Eyes, January 13th and 14th. This is gigantic, because TNA, the name TNA, is coming back. And at one point, did you know there was an idea, maybe, of bringing back the name brand TNA?
I had an inkling, maybe a few weeks before, a couple weeks before, but it was never confirmed one way or another. It was always, it, in the wrestling world, you live in rumors. All there is until you see it, you don't believe it. That's always been the line. So I think it had been talked about, between some of the wrestlers and stuff like that, where some are for it and stuff like that. So there's always an inkling, but to see it actually unfold the way it did was mind blowing. It was chills galore.
Yeah, because when it was announced and that video package played, and the internet, Twitter, everywhere went crazy because the TNA brand some of us have grown up on, and having it return brings back the feels, of seeing Elix Skipper walk across the cage and doing a Hurricanrana, Don West yelling, screaming with Mike Tenay, Abyss. These are huge memories. But you, now signing with TNA, you've been here for 10 years. Is there a moment that jumps out at you as, man, like, I still can't believe I achieved that?
You know, there's definitely a few. Over time. I mean, I've been wrestling 20 years. I've been with TNA's Impact for 10 years at this point. When me and Davey debuted as the Wolves in Scotland, where it was our first show, and it was a big arena and it was sold out. And I remember just before going out there, like, okay, this is next level. This is different. You know what I mean? You could feel that this is different. So being able to do that, also, the tag matches that we got to have with Team 3D and the Hardys, those are moments that you go back and you tell my teenage self that that was going to happen. That's something that I don't think I would have believed. Of course, winning the TNA World Title from Bobby Lashley, and then being able to win the Impact Championship, and now being able to do it with my wife at my side. There's been so many great moments, over my career in my life that I've been very blessed. I'm blessed and very grateful for everything that's happened. And I'm excited to see this new year, man. I think the fans as well as the locker room is feeling the same about this. We're just ready to go, man.
And so 2024 is coming up. The ball will drop. And so, what are your goals? What do you believe TNA's goals are for 2024?
I think it's the fact that TNA is back. We talk about the nostalgia aspect of it. I think it's a chance for us to reintroduce TNA to fans that maybe we lost along the way. There's been some ups and downs in our company in professional wrestling. Maybe some fans went elsewhere. Maybe they stopped watching. But I think it's our chance to say, all right, this is the new TNA. This is what we are now, and to show the casual fans or people who may just give us a chance by tuning in because it's TNA, like, no, this is worth sticking around for. This is what we're doing now. And I think at Hard to Kill, it's going to be the perfect time, perfect opportunity to show, like, this is who we are. This is what we do. And this is just the beginning, because I think 2024 is going to be a big year. Some more international tours, a little bit more traveling, some more events. I think this is just the start.
Oh man, got me. Get the goosebumps over here because yeah, TNA has such a fond feeling for all of us. Monty Brown, Raven, the just so many great names from the past that you can also watch on streaming platforms. for TNA coming up in January, a whole new ball game. But you re-signing with TNA, was that even a hard decision for you?
No, no, not at all. Honestly, my contract isn't even up until the end of February, and we talked about it. Scott brought it up, and it was a pretty quick discussion for me and him as well. I don't think it's any secret that this is. I've been here for 10 years, so this is a place that I consider my home, and I want to be. I don't want to be anywhere else. So my goal is to be here until my wheels and limbs start falling. You know what I mean? That's the goal. And the good thing is, I can say that, and I'm comfortable saying that because of the way that the company has treated me, the way the front office has treated me, and the way that our locker room is. If anybody who's ever around our locker room, you want to see our true locker room. It's after shows. It's when people are together hanging out, not because they have to, but because we all like each other. We all want to be in the same area. And that's the atmosphere that I think is untouchable for us. And I think you can see it in the ring, in the product that we put out there. You can see the sense of the term that's overused, family, but you can see that feeling that we have in the back for each other.
Yeah, I see a lot of videos recently on social media, a lot of dance numbers being choreographed backstage, having a blast. And hey, man, who doesn't want to go to work and have fun?
Exactly.
Dancing and wrestling, I'm there. You know, I'm there. Though you did say on Twitter, or X, as some of us call it, this was a quote from you. This has been and will continue to be my home as long as I'm able to do this. Now, you mentioned your limbs falling off, and this is your home. You brought up family as well. So it's got to feel good, though, because, again, you just brought up February is when your contract really comes up. So in reality, re-signing now, not being a tough decision, shows like this is home, this is family, versus this isn't just a place I work.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice to have, of course, that stability for me and my family, but also to know that, I feel the same as Scott and the higher ups feel. We feel the same about each other. So the fact that it was such a quick conversation, I think is definitely a good thing.
Oh man, and of course, Hard to Kill, January 13th. That's the beginning of this TNA brand reconstruction. But yet, Snake Eyes. The next day, you're in action. This match has been booked. It's you, Moose, Brian Myers versus Motor City Machine Guns, and quite a big name, Okada. This is huge. And if we're talking about contracts and rumors, if you read on the internet, Okada's contract is coming up something eventually. And would he be welcomed into that TNA locker room?
I mean, I think without a doubt. I mean, you look at everything that he's accomplished, in Japan, and the fact that he's coming back. I think it's his first time back since 2011. And of course, I think everybody knows that there were issues in the past between him and TNA. And the fact that he's coming back now shows, I think, the faith that he has in the company. And I think, of course, the locker room itself will welcome him. And I think we're very welcoming as a whole, as long as you want to be here. You know what I mean? As long as you want to come in, nobody's forcing you to do it. You want to come in and you want to experience what the locker room's like and what our shows are like. And I think Vegas is going to be the perfect opportunity for Okada to see, okay, this is different than it was back then. I think that's kind of all he needs. Then who knows what happens from there? In wrestling, you never say never. So we'll see. But I'm really looking forward to that match.
Yeah, again, talking about matches people want to see, the fact that Okada's going to be in, TNA's first big event after rebranding itself, and then you're in that ring as well. 10-year vet Moose, been there forever as well. Brian Myers, what a hand. Motor Machine Guns, world champion, other champions. Like, this is a match you cannot miss, and it's the day after Hard to Kill. So if you're already in town, like, hello, double shot, have a good time. TNA, both days. Like, dude, so much has been happening. In wrestling, though, it isn't ballet, and I know you've had some injuries. What is your worst injury?
My worst one, where I was out longest, would have been my broken elbow, where I had to get a steel plate put in my elbow. I broke it at a show for ROH in Boston, back in the day. That would be my worst one. I've of course had, numerous. The Sammy Callahan hitting me in the face with the bat wasn't great. It broke my face in a couple places, broken heel, separated shoulders. Our last event in Toronto, I got some nice 12 stitches or so. It's not ballet. Things happen. you know, overall, knock on wood, I feel healthy. You know what I mean? I feel good, and that's half the battle, if not more than half the battle. Just kind of take care of ourselves, and because I do want to do this for a long time. I'm not planning on stopping anytime soon.
Man. And then, of course, with injuries comes strange places to wrestle. What is the strangest place you've ever wrestled?
I'd say a barn. It's like a random barn in Massachusetts somewhere. I don't even know what town or city it was in, but it was in a barn. It was actually a nicely set up barn, but it was a barn, and it was interesting. I also wrestled inside a bull ring, like a rodeo uh, arena, I think it was, which was pretty cool. And then I wrestled in front of 7 people in a bar. So yeah, I've done some good places, some unique places, from big arenas to small barns.
Hey, man, those horses maybe enjoyed the show.
Exactly.
Were there animals there? Were there animals?
There weren't animals in the barn at the time. They were.
Okay.
We had to get them outside. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
they didn't pay for seats.
There's been a TNA pay-per-view people absolutely adore and love, Lockdown. And, and you bring up TNA, you always think of six-side ring. Would you want that back? I know it wasn't very forgiving of the way it's positioned, but do you want the six-side ring to return? Maybe for one night only. We don't have to kill ourselves every night.
I mean, I'd be okay with that for one night, for a special night, special event. But we were just talking about being healthy and trying to stay healthy. That ring won't be doing it. That ring doesn't help anybody stay healthy, or that bump card gets filled up pretty quick in that one. So I think it would be a good opportunity to bring it in for one night only or pay-per-view, because it is so synonymous with TNA. So I think it would be good to be able to do that. But I think, for the sake of our wrestlers and our bodies, I think squared circle is the.
And then Lockdown, another event, I think it was such a staple for so long for TNA. The return, with TNA comes, people want to see, the King of the Mountain matches. We have the Ultimate X. There are certain match types that go along with the name brand TNA, and Lockdown is definitely one of them. And all pay-per-view, if you don't know, it's a pay-per-view. Every match is in a steel cage. And so wrestlers are getting very creative with how to make these matches different. Is this something you'd like to return as well?
I would, I'd be open to it because of how you said, with the nostalgia fact, and I think it is challenging if you're a wrestler, especially later in the card. You're wrestling after 6 or 7 other matches that have been inside a cage already, so you're forced to be pretty creative as far as what you're going to do in that ring, and it really takes your creativity and what you can do in there. Same type of thing. I think it would be a good opportunity to do it for one night, one pay-per-view, one lockdown. It would be a good time, and I think the fans would be happy to see it come back as well.
Yeah, I cannot wait. Again, Hard to Kill, January 13th. Then we have Snake Eyes with Okada in action the next day. Folks, if you're already in town for one, go to the other one. Tickets are still available as well, because so many great matches are being booked for both events right now. But I'm pumped. You're pumped. We're all pumped. Eddie Edwards, 10 more years. 10 more years. 10 more years in TNA, because you created so many memories for all of us. Let's continue creating those memories one more time. Hey, you know what? How about one more championship run? Let's do it.
No, you know what? Let's do it.
Let's do it. We were the sun. It's got the market on it. Baseball bastard faces. He took one for you. Well, thank you so much for being here on 10 Count right here on Wrestling News Co. I'm Steve Fall. He's Eddie Edwards. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.